Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video. Now, I've done storage tech videos in the past, and I have to admit they were not the best. This, however, is an improvement over the past couple months of me researching storage tech, designing storage tech, working with storage tech, and a lot more. And I'm just really excited to show this build off. This is going to be our new main storage on the SMP, and it's taken about a week to get to where it is. So you may know the Scicraft server. If you do, then you probably recognize their main storage. And this main storage is very similar to theirs in the decoration part. But behind the scenes, it is most definitely not. But yeah, I guess we should probably go right into it today. Right into it now. Whatever. Okay. Here it is. So if you do know the Scicraft server, this is very close to the server's thing. I copied pretty much all the decoration. I got rid of the water tubes, added some of my own personal decoration, but I kept most of it intact because it's just a beautiful room. Also back here we have this room. This is going to be where we can expand. So in here we have, right here is our bulk storage. So here we have all the different types of items that we're going to be storing in bulk. These here are just empty because there's nothing there right now. And so if we want a shulker of, let's say, red sand, we can come here, open this up, and there will be red sand right here. And if we want more than just a shulker box, we can choose from here. And if we want to eject that shulker box, just one, or maybe well, the one that is loading in here. So there's a shulker box that's always being loaded from the storage there. Actually, I can just show this off here. On the sliced version, maybe. It's probably a little bit. Here we are. So we constantly have items being sorted. So when they come through the sorter, it will activate this piston. This is a design from the storage tech Discord. I did not design this 100%, but they get loaded in shulker boxes. And if you were to press this button, it would eject that shulker box. So if you needed something that was inside the shulker box that was getting loaded, you can easily get it with that. So when you press that, it ejects it, pushes it down. Then it will break this one, and then that exact shulker box that was just broken will be displayed right here. So it's extremely smart in the sense that how it works. Yeah, and it's a beautiful system, and I fell in love with it the moment I saw it. It was originally only a 2-block gap in the middle, but we expanded it for our server because the base here is centralized around 3 blocks opposed to 1 or 2. I did mess up in one part, and I don't know quite how to fix it yet, but as you can see, there's one line of blocks here, and on every other side there's 2. So it's exact except for that, which kind of stinks, but I can't really do anything about it right now. I may fix it in the future, but yeah. So the system works really well. So let's say I want that, so I can just press that button, and eventually that'll get broken, and the new one will come out. Here for the shulker box distribution, we just have a chest full of shulker boxes, and we would have a hopper minecart that would just chill here. It would then go back and forth from these different droppers with the hoppers in them, and that would fill up all the droppers here, and then they would get pushed slowly into this dispenser. And when the hopper minecart is completely filled up, it just turns off the piston. It's pretty self-explanatory redstone. And actually, that's right. So you just input shulker boxes here, and then it'll get distributed throughout the whole thing. And yeah. So I'm going to go into depth on how this thing exactly functions because it's not exactly the easiest thing to understand. So we do have a main chest haul here. So we sort 8 items a slice. So that's very useful in many cases, obviously. So we can store, I think, about 400 items exactly, actually. It's 50 long times 8 is about 400, I think. I'm not good at math, but yeah. So it's just a simple storage haul. And with this system, it's something special. So we have full hopper locking for the whole thing. So here we have the hopper locking switch, and I won't be able to show this off right now as it's doing, but That one should always be turned off, um, unless you want to stop the thing as it's sorting items. Because if you don't do that, then obviously it breaks pretty badly. Because if you're inputting items while the hoppers are all locked, they're all just going to go into um, these overflow chests, and that obviously isn't great. So yeah, but we have full hopper locking. So as you can see, this is showing us the state of the hopper locking. So if that is on, that means the hopper locking is all almost, I think, about 90% locked. And if it is off, it means all of them are unlocked, and it is sorting items. We do actually have 2 double chests for each item. So we have a double chest here, and in the back of this one we have a double chest here. Same for this one, right here, and then this one too, and then that one too. So we have 2 double chests for each one, and hopper locking. So these are a little bit different. So this one right here will actually, this is the input. So this is where you would input any items, shulker boxes, unstackables, stackables, anything you want can go into this double chest right here, and it will get sorted, spit out at the right speed, and put out to wherever. This right here, these 2 switches will let you switch between cycling the items through the bulk and the storage over there. So let's say you just put in a lot of redstone material and you want it all to get loaded into shulker boxes and loaded into these shulker boxes right here. The way you could do that is by pressing that, and that will turn on a system in the back, which I'll show later, that now when you put items in, it's going to get sent around here. It will go and then up, and then it will go around and then down into the main storage. So that if you put anything in, it will go into here first, opposed to going into here. The other switch, obviously, if you turn that off, then it just goes straight to main storage. But this button right here will turn off the multi-item storage. So we have, I believe, 10 or yes, 10 multi-item sorters. So here we sort corals, trapdoors, and fence gates. Here we sort doors and fences, and I'm realizing this does not make sense 100%. So let me just fix that. Oh, this is my bad. I did not come prepared for this. Okay, but it would look like this. So you have fences, then you have doors, then you have walls, then we have leaves, flowers, dyes, workstations. Then these are all the stripped logs and like what do you call them? Like the stuff, the wood and the stripped stuff. Here we have buttons and pressure plates as well. So they all get sorted into here. So if you don't know what this is, it's, I believe, Rapscallion's multi-item sorter. So items will get sent into here. There's nothing. Server side doesn't do stuff with it. Matica doesn't transfer into BT. But that doesn't matter because it's just kind of to show how it would work. Here we have the overflow. So it's just really simple. Just think like 15 double chests just to hold the items come out. And then here we have manually sorting. So we have tools, armrest, tools, books, water, lava, and music discs. And obviously you can add more discs and so on and so forth. And so what this switch here does is when it's on, that means that the items, if they don't go into the main storage, they will get sent over and sorted in the multi-item sorter. And if this is off, they will just go directly from main storage. If they don't fit in the main storage, they'll go directly to the overflow. Over here is where you would like expand. So let's say you want to have a little bit more manually sorting. You could extend this hallway outwards and then have a ton more chests here, something along those lines, or crafting systems, or little farms, brewing systems, smelting stuff. All that could be stored here in the expansion area. And yeah, definitely Scicraft. So right here is the main water column where all the items that you put in will go through. So you'll always see items that you put in come out through here. And yep. So the hopper locking is all controlled by when you put stuff in. So if you put in a stack of iron blocks and you want that all to get sorted out, even if it's in the multi-item sorter, it doesn't matter, or the bulk storage does not matter. You can just put them in here and it will all get handled. And I'll show that in a second here. And it will unlock the hoppers. That light will turn off as it's sorting items, so that all the hoppers are unlocked while items are going through the system. So there's no way to stop that unless, as it's running, if you want to stop all the hopper locking. So let's say oh, I didn't want to put in my gear in there and don't want it to go to whatever. You just press that, and it will lock all the hoppers in the system and stop it from sorting anything. Almost instantly. We have a little bit of instant wear that I'll show there in a minute. But yeah, so now I want to go into a little bit more of the redstone stuff. If you don't know what any of this is about, you can just zone out for a few minutes while I talk about it. And if you do, yep, so let's get into it. So here we have our input. This is the first thing we start with. So we have Omega 16 item output. We have a couple of minecarts in here that suck out the items super fast and distribute them, and the hopper minecarts are messed up again. Ignore the messy hopper minecarts just for now. They'll obviously be fixed when we build this in survival, but they get distributed into 16 hoppers, then 16 double chests. So there's a couple double chests here for a buffer storage, and then they'll all get from there into a dropper that will see if they are a shulker box or an item. So if it's an item, it will get dispensed into the shulker box and set down. But if it is a shulker box, because you cannot send shulker boxes into other shulker boxes, it will stay in this dropper and then be pushed down into this double chest, where it will then be unloaded. If it's an item, the item just goes into the same place that you would unload the items at. So all items are going to be coming out of this hopper right here. When the shulker is done, it will break the shulker, and that sends it down here into this dropper, where this dropper will then drop it out and send this to the overflow up here. So all the shulker boxes will end up here. I might add something where you can just direct it straight to bulk storage, so that when you want to just send shulker boxes and reuse them into bulk storage, you can have that as well, but that's in the future. So then when the shulker boxes are unloaded, the items will get sent past a unstackable sorter. So if they are a stackable item, they will just get sent to the packer. But if they are an unstackable item, which means that they are like a tool or something, the multi-item sorter cannot handle that, so we cannot have that going into the storage system no matter what. So we filtered that out, put it into the same dropper as that, and send it to the overflow. If it is an item, it will get sent into this item batcher, I think it's called, or an item grouper or something. I forget what it's called. But it's dropped out here, and then in increments of 20. So once this dropper spits it out 20 times, once we have 20 items sitting here, it gets pushed over into a water stream and then sent up into the storage. And what that does is it basically overrides the hopper cooldown. So if you don't know what hopper cooldown is, if you put in a ton of items, if you're just putting in a constant stream of items at hopper speed, it can happen that you may lose some items because of the hopper cooldown. And that's obviously not great for sorting, because then you'll have a ton of items coming out into the overflow chest, and you don't want that at all, and it'll be very bad. So that just neglects it. So every 20 items, so here I can show that I believe in this filter. So this filter here has 40 items and then 4 holder buttons, holder items. Those will obviously be renamed sugarcane probably, or something eventually. But you said we have 40 slots here, so once we dispense 6 or 20 items at a time, they'll get sucked down into 60, and then as soon as it's sucked down to 40 again, 20 more items will come in. 100% of the time, guaranteed, synced, and perfect. And I will show that in a minute here. And the way that these switches here work, so when you switch the multi-item sorter on and off, that sends a signal up here, which will put these pistons into opposite modes. So right now it's just sent to go to the overflow. So when you turn it on to go to the multi-item sorter, that piston will extend, this piston will retract. That's that. Fall down here into this hopper, into this chest, which is not 100% done. I don't know why that was like that. And then it will get sent through the multi-item sorter, and then if it doesn't go into the multi-item sorter, it spits out into overflow. And then when that's off, obviously, it just goes to overflow again. And then with the bulk storage, so when you flick this note block here, it will send a signal this way, drawing this, and that sends a signal up here, right here. So when you do want them to go to main storage, the items will come from here, straightforward, against these honey blocks and go into main storage. But if you want them to go to bulk, that piston will extend and retract like that again, obviously. And then they'll all go into the bulk storage here and get sorted into bulk. And then once they're done bulk, go around and just back to main storage. So pretty good UI, I think. And for the hopper locking, this is definitely the most interesting part. Oh yeah, we also have this little indicator lamp here that just shows when the whole system is running. We technically have 2 of those, but this one is just for, I don't know, better. I don't know. So here we have the hopper locking switch. So this will just bolt this redstone block and turn off this instant line right here that leads to the back, where we have the hopper locking here. So all these lines here will lock all the hoppers. So we have different lines going to different places, and they all lock all the hoppers that are in between, because obviously to have all this storage, you have to have a ton of hoppers, especially for 2 double chests per item. That's a lot. So you need to have a ton of hoppers, but this system locks that 100%, and it works 100% reliably, and it is an amazing system. I am whoever made this, it did a really good job. I found it on the slice on the storage tech Discord, but yep. So, and then down here, obviously, there's more lines that just lock more hoppers, and yep. So down here, we have a system designed by one of the members of the server. So once these items are getting spit out here, we will extend this piston. So when there's items being dropped out of this dropper into the piston up there or whatever, whenever it's running, we're going to have this block extended. So whenever there's items coming out of the output, we're going to have this extended. And that will start kind of and stop this clock at the same time. So there's 5 stacks of items in here. And when that's stopped and started, I don't know how this works exactly, but I know that it starts a clock, and then once the clock is done, it will send a signal upwards, which unlocks all the hoppers or locks all the hoppers, and it works pretty damn well. So yeah, but if you want to copy this system, it's pretty simple. And yeah, here's item batcher again. I already showed that though. And yeah, we have 2 beacons. I don't know why I did 2, but whatever. We have over here a ton of the stuff that went into designing it. So this was the first idea we had for a storage slice. Actually, this was the first idea we had for a storage slice that I designed in like 2 seconds. Shulkerbox display, storage, shulkerbox loader, and an item sorter. And then the second design was this one. So we had a shulkerbox display, slightly better chest layout, better shulkerbox loader and sorter, with a light that shows you when it's full. And then we settled, or this guy, or one of the guys that was helping me came up with this design. And then we were looking at other designs, such as this one, or I don't know where it went, but there was another one. And then we settled on this one, and then we split it into the large hall that you saw here. And yeah, we settled on this one. And you can see the world edit file that I did, because world edit updated everything and didn't go well. We originally had the problem when you have this too wide in the middle that it's really hard to do this with stackable shulker boxes, because the original design just had hoppers going back and forth through here. So you would put in a double chest of shulker boxes and they would just get thrown through there. But since we have stacking shulker boxes, you would need like multiple hundreds of double chests just to fill like half of this. So we obviously didn't want that. We wanted to separate them out with rails, and that's what this system did. So this system actually worked pretty well from what I remember. It had it going in a momentum, but it was only able to be so long. So I figured out that if you split it up, which I actually kind of did by accident with a design flaw, but yeah, I realized that you could just have a track here, because you could place redstone blocks above here, because it would bud these pistons. Show us. It would bud the pistons if you update it, and if you get rid of it, obviously that happens. But yeah, we obviously don't want that, because it would break the whole storage slice and cause big problems. Yeah, so we can't have any redstone blocks in here, so we have to maximize the area that we have powered rails and use momentum of the minecarts. But with this system, you don't have to do that. And yeah, here was the spruce tree farm storage, I think. Yeah. This was what we were going to use, but I did not like it at all. But yeah, I think the one we settled on here is definitely the best. I think this is the best bulk thing possible. It's just so amazing. I cannot believe whoever made that is incredible. So another thing, there is some manual sorting. So let's say you want to input like maybe 20 shulker boxes of red concrete. Obviously, if you were to just put in 20 shulker boxes of red concrete as input, uh, it could you could do it so that it would just it would unload all the shulker boxes to 20 shulker boxes to that at hopper speed, input it, load it into shulker boxes, and then put them into here, and that would work. That works fine, but that's really slow. That's really slow. So you might just want to, okay, I have 20 shulker boxes of red concrete, just put it in here and be done. That also works, so you don't have to worry about not having that. And yeah, that's about it. I don't have the multi-item storage set up in the server because with Litmatica and server side, you don't transfer NBT data, so there's nothing in any of these. There should be, I think, a filter item here, filters in here, filters in here, here, and here, and you can't do that with this unless you're in single player because NBT data doesn't work server side, which sucks, but whatever. In the expansion area, we have autocrafting on the server, so we're probably going to end up putting in a ton of autocrafters, probably a piston autocrafter, rocket autocrafter, TNT autocrafter, and just a ton of other stuff. Maybe shulker box storage as well, because we don't really have a set shulker box storage here, but it should be fine. I had a little bit of water here. I was pretty proud of myself for thinking of a waterfall. I don't know why. I was just really bored. But yeah, I think this turned out really well. We're going to be building this on the server in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple days. They're actually currently running the World Eater, I believe. Let me see, actually, on the survival server, if they are running the World Eater. I believe that they are. I don't know 100% because it's a little bit weird how they're doing it. But oh yeah, they are. They're running the World Eater right now, so that's actually pretty exciting. Um, the render distance World Eater, I believe, is 530 by 530 blocks World Eater, so it's a huge World Eater. And this is going to sit right in the middle of that. Also, I still have to yet add chunk loading, so we're gonna have chunk loading at like 256. So right about here, we're gonna have, I think, about 6 portals laid out here, and then that's all gonna get chunk loaded. So when this thing is on, when the hopper locking is disabled, we will have a ton of chunk loaders loading this. So when it is sorting items, it'll all be chunk loaded. And yeah, this thing took multiple days to put together. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will leave a Litmatic in the description, but I just want to put a quick disclaimer that if you do get the Litmatic, there are certain things that are not going to be there. There's going to be no NBT data, so it's literally just going to be the blocks. If you want to hook this up, pay attention here. So you're going to want 5 stacks of items in this hopper right here. Over here for this system, you're going to want to put in 1 item in any of these 2 hoppers, and then here you're going to want to put in 20 items into one of these. So you can just put 20 items into this one, and it'll work the same. I don't know if there's anywhere else that are like important items, but I know that those are the 2 big ones. I can actually quickly show this working. So in this first one, we have the piston sorter setup. So we have this hopper right here set up for sorting pistons. So if I put this in, we see that that button is off. That is very important. If we put in pistons, we will see that that light will shortly turn off. That light will turn on as that light turns off, I believe. That one's going to turn on. That one is going to turn off. There we go. That means all the hoppers are unlocked. And we are going to start seeing pistons trickle in there in just a second. We will see the item batcher working. Yep. So here we have the item batcher. 20 items at a time. You see that that gets pushed out, and then it gets sent up a water stream, into more water streams, and directly into this hopper here. So I can show this. There we are. Once it reaches 41, we get exactly 20 new items. So you can see that happening. And that basically neglects all hopper cooldown, which is really useful. And there we go. And as you see, there's no items left over, so that means that the system up top worked, and we have exactly a stack of pistons new in there. So we take our pistons, and yeah. So the system will stay on 5 minutes I believe, after you put in any items into it. And that is a safety thing. So if there's any items, because if you were to have that on and that would mean that once you put items into here, they would be getting sorted in bulk. Then they would go through here, which takes about a minute journey, 2 minute journey. And then they're going to come over here in the multi-item sorter, which could take up to 5 minutes to sort a stack of items. And obviously the overflow, so you want to have it very, very safe. So that's what we have here. Obviously, once we add the chunk loading, that's going to be done all server side because I can't really predict chunk loading in creative, but yeah. So I'm going to leave a Schematic in the description. If you don't know what Schematic is, it's a mod, so you basically can load in like holograms and stuff. So I don't know how to explain this, but basically you can display holograms and stuff, load them and unload them, and create them throughout your world. And if you're in creative, you can just load this in and press your go key, and that'll paste it in if you're holding the item. It's hard to explain, but yeah. So just if you know what Lumatic is, obviously just whatever, paste this into your world, and you can mess around with it. Don't forget the items where I said they were. For this, you might want to look up the video on this because I'm not going to be a very good job at explaining how this all works. Also, there's supposed to be like certain composter levels here, and these are supposed to be filled with certain types of items in certain amounts. But yeah, if you want, I will link the Scicraft video in the description because I took great inspiration from them for these two rooms, and I do not want that to go unnoticed. So yeah. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the description. Again, a special thanks to the Starcraft server and the multiple people that help with the item batcher, item input, along with hopper locking and bulk storage. And yeah, look forward to a video in about a month or two about this on the survival server. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Bye.